Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, November 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a few moments, but I like to do this when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol MARA, absolutely beast move today. Not necessarily today, but last week it started. It did go into this kind of boring, slow, methodical consolidation. But as we saw today, that has proven to be very, very healthy as there's been a big breakout from that. And now it's just a question of mapping out where some of these next levels of support and resistance are. So let's first start with some areas of support. Let me change that to green for support. And the ideal level of support, when you say, Clay, what makes this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? That would be if the price can stay up there above the $23 mark. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below 23, that doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But if the price could manage to stay above there, that would certainly be a very, very impressive sign of power. From the big picture point of view, it's all about that purple line there, 50-period, simple moving average. Keyword being moving because I understand the price is way up here. That line's way down there. But as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and higher. So it's basically like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price stays above that overall quote-unquote trend line, then the overall trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. As far as levels of resistance, you're basically in blue sky breakout territory, which is a good problem to have. So overall, you'll just kind of have to watch how the chart continues to play out from that angle. But like I said, blue sky breakouts, definitely a very good problem to have in the sense of, well, I'm not quite sure where resistance is. Well, if the reason for that is you're in blue skies, like I said, a good problem. Next one, CERO, massive volume on this one today, and now we have some very well-defined areas from the technical point of view, and I think the level that a whole lot of people are going to be paying attention to right there at 21 cents. Just going through the history, you can see right there wasn't exact, but did act as resistance, and then once, twice, three times this afternoon acted as resistance. So when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there are no guarantees, my point here is that if the price can come up to 21 and get the break up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure. So keep an eye on that key area of resistance. And then as far as supports are concerned, nothing too complicated here. Price spent quite a bit of time, well, not a whole lot of time, but did spend a significant amount of time down here around did not spend a significant amount. It's only Monday too. This might be a long week for those of you that watch my top 10 videos. It spent some time. There we go. It spent some time down here, both during that opening 30 minutes and then late afternoon, and did a fantastic job of holding. So 15 cents will be that main area of support. But like I said, I think the most interesting dynamic is if the price can come up there, and if it does, can it get up through 21 cents? Definitely a whole lot of volume on this one today. Next one, SOUN. Very, very impressive move today. And to be quite frank, I don't know why I'm just now finding this one. This has been in a very nice uptrend already. It's already had good solid volume. So yeah, shame on me for just now kind of finding it. But let's get the levels of support and resistance here mapped out. So the first area is we have this area of resistance right here, an uptrending trend line. And then we have this area of support right there. So essentially right now have a nice little upwards channel to it. You can see the price has just been bouncing back and forth within the channel. So overall, as long as the price stays within this channel, then everything is still perfectly fine because it is an uptrending channel. Now, with that being said, if the price were to break to the downside of the channel, not the end of the world at all, because as I talked about in a previous one, just keep an eye on that purple line there, which you now know is a 50-period moving average. So as that line moves itself higher and higher, as long as the price is above there, then from the overarching standpoint, everything is still perfectly bullish. So yes, preferably speaking, stay inside of the upwards channel here. But if the price doesn't, that is okay as long as the price stays above that purple line. Next one, FOXO, and a tricky one today. Well, I suppose depending on your strategy, if you're some sort of scalper, then yeah, you got enough wiggle room right here to pull some profits out. But if you're looking for bigger types of moves, then yeah, unfortunately, it broke out. It did make a good move. So again, depending on your strategy, plenty of room there to make money, but then ultimately came back down and then plunged quite a bit of ways downwards. with all that said, this all depends on your strategy, because from the big picture standpoint, yeah, we're once again going to talk about that purple line. So it pulled back quite a bit, but as you see here, the price is still above that purple line. So from the overarching viewpoint, everything is still healthy. This is a matter of perspective though, which is why I'm going to go back to the whole it depends on your strategy. If you are a day trader and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 12 minutes, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart looks really, really bad for you. But if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, sure, that was disappointing that you got the breakout and then it came back down, but it still is respecting areas of support. It still is building those higher lows, and that's what matters most. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and the grind continues. So that was a little bit of a resistance right there. And now we have a good solid pattern here. And when you have good patterns that you got to think a lot of people are watching, again, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it if you want, it can produce some good solid movements. And given that this is Tesla, and Tesla is sort of a very well-known stock, it just brings about that much more credibility of those potential self-fulfilling prophecies. But we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. Let me change that to green. And then just let me keep this all, make it one color so we can, wow, that was a terrible line. Hopefully make it easier to recognize. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move there. And then if you, for you golfers out there, if you put a little golf hole down here, this would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because there's a bullish pattern doesn't mean the price is for sure going to go upwards, but totally valid to think that if the price comes up to the top part of the pattern and breaks up through it, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure. So if you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on it. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the page that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, NVDA, and this one showed that it is human today. But not a drastic day, but opening 30 minutes, you know, you got to just call it. I mean, that was a pretty, very, very rough opening 30 minutes. Started here, dropped all the way down here, gap or tried to bounce back upwards, but this is where the first update comes into play, and that's just based on a rule that when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And I mean, you can see this right here, power of charts, bounce, 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 and what a coincidence. Bounced right off that area, back down it went. So moving forward, 146.50 is going to be public enemy number one. You also have the purple line there that's kind of hiding behind it, which you know is the 50-period moving average. So as of now, it's essentially a double whammy of resistance. Doesn't mean that it can't be broken. Just means that the price is really going to have to be strong to push up through it. If the price can get up through it, the next key level up there around 148.80. In the event the price comes down, because I will say that as of right now, there is a bear pennant, so, you know, put the golf ball up there, so it's just an upside down bull pennant. But there is a bear pennant. Doesn't mean the price is going to, you know, break to the downside, but it would not be shocking if the price does break to the downside. And if it does, that is where the next key area of support down there comes into play in terms of whether or not the price can hold strong. That is a 200 period right now valued at 141.35. Next one, RIOT, another one of these Bitcoin stocks that has just been doing very, very well, as Bitcoin has also been doing very, very well. So let's just map out the pattern here. We have top part of it, resistance right there. We have a nice little uptrending portion right there. Change that to green. And then just to make it easier to see, because I can't help myself, we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big moves up right there. Golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you're someone that's liking bull pennants, you definitely have quite a bit of variety moving forward. Next one, SMCI. And overall, there was this trend line here that we had been tracking, but you can see price broke down through there, and that really kind of spurred on a bigger move to the downside. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. But with the bounce here, it's starting to come into play, and there is now another area of support as far as trend lines are concerned that I want to get into play. But actually, let me just get rid of that. It served its purpose for now. But first key update is just based on that rule that I already said. When supports are broken and closed above, they tend to act as resistance. So right here at 23.85, if this is going to try to bounce back upwards, that'll be the main level. But you can also see the purple line here already acting as resistance. That's right where the price is getting caught up right there. So even if the price does break above the purple line, I wouldn't get too excited, because then you have to worry about 23.85. So just keep that in mind. And then just from the overarching kind of attempted recovery from what? Well, these lows down here. There now is this overarching support trend line right there. So let me change it up a little bit. So let's keep an eye on that and see if the price can maintain, because as long as the price does maintain above that level, then technically speaking, the price is building higher lows. And that's how ultimate turnarounds happen. They don't necessarily happen in the price going straight up kind of way, but they do happen sometimes slowly, where the price just slowly and gradually builds those higher lows. And that's what that trend line there is representing. So as long as the price is above there, then technically you can argue that a recovery is underway, because the price by definition is going to need to be put in higher lows in order to stay above that trend line. Next one here, SOFI. Been tracking this one quite a bit, and again, fantastic move. I'm going to delete this out and I'm going to go through this one quicker because, yeah, you've heard me talk about this pattern, once or twice in this video already, but nonetheless, we are adding to the choices that you have in terms of what you want to potentially play tomorrow as far as patterns are concerned. And just like I said, I can't help myself. I want to make sure everybody can see it. So we have the resistance, we have the support, we have the big moves up right here, we have the Gulf down here. So yeah, you guessed it, another bull pennant pattern. Next one, TQQQ. So the very, very impressive trend line here that I talked about, did not hold today, but as I've mentioned previously, that's just one of those levels where that would have just been insanely strong if the price would have been able to maintain above that level. But that was violated today, so we'll get rid of it. But yeah, you guessed it. You're probably going to say next Clay, but Clay, it's still above that purple line. Exactly. So that's why that trend line that was broken, that was the ideal level, would have made the chart look very strong. But because the price did not hold above it, but it did hold above that purple line, then from the overarching standpoint, bulls are still fully in control. So moving forward, purple line remains a near-term area of support, valued at 81.40. And then in terms of areas of resistance, nothing new here to report. 83 is still going to be that main level. Now, yeah, the price did actually gap up above it this morning, but that didn't last very long before the price dropped back below it. But then when the price did bounce, you can see that it went right back to acting as resistance again before rejecting the price back down. Good news is that there was a recovery back upwards, so the price is certainly within striking distance of potentially doing battle and maybe breaking through 83 over the next couple of days. But all things considered, how strong things have been, it would make sense that, yeah, this thing consolidated out a little bit, needed to pull back, but the week is young, so we'll see how things continue to play out. I'll get to Bitcoin in just a moment, but first, as a reminder, if you like what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for the free live webinar later this week. It'll be Thursday, November 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick update here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours, not 30 minutes. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And from wanting this to remain relevant for as long as possible as far as analysis is concerned, by using the longer time frames and then walking you through some questions, that will allow me to do that. But as of right now, it's total beast mode for Bitcoin. So it's just one of those situations where question number one to ask yourself is, where is the price at relative to 81,500? If you're saying and answering the question that the price is still above there, everything is perfectly fine. So meaning, let's say the price does actually come down here and it's sitting down around that area. All that would be giving you is a beautiful, so you'd have a pullback, but then you'd have this upwards move here. That'd be giving you a beautiful bull pennant, bull flag pattern. So like I said, even if there is somewhat of a pullback, that is okay. If anything, it's forming some sort of bullish pattern. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 81,500. Okay, next question, where's the price at relative to the purple line there, the 50 period moving average right now valued at 74,900. If you're saying the price is down below there, even that, the chart is still fine. Now, I would say, okay, something kind of wrong or what's going on? Now, the one thing that I would say makes the chart look very, very sketchy is if somehow the price is down below that pink line, which is at 69,200, the 200 period moving average. But I highly doubt between now and 24 hours from now, when I come back to update it again, you're going to be saying, actually, Clay, the price is down below that area. So overall, though, like I said, as long as the price is above 81,500 when you're watching this, then there's absolutely nothing to worry about at all. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this free live class, because what you'll learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So it'll be later this week, as mentioned, Thursday, November 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these and you want to support the channel in a totally free way, please hit that subscribe button. That little click really helps out, really goes a long way. So I thank you in advance for doing that. Definitely go get signed up for that free class. Thanks for watching.